We good? Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. I know I'm muted. Not now, hopefully. Can you hear me? Thumbs up? Okay. Anyway. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bugsy Jerk, nice to see you. Lovely Lyrics, Rebecca Casella, Cherokee Girl, Tragedy Pimps Exposed. Thank you guys. Sorry, that has to happen at least one time during the live, right? Of course. Anyway, so I'm going to switch gears on this, and I thought that y'all would be interested in this. So, there is paperwork or court documents that come out that were filed that say that there has been somebody, probably an officer. We're going to go over what Brady is and Giglio, all that through this live. But there was court papers that were put in, that were filed that say that there has been somebody that's not credible or compromised as an officer in the Idaho 4 case. That somebody could, I mean, it could be as simple as somebody walking into the crime scene. You know, it could be something as bad as someone walking in and, messing with something in the crime scene, planting evidence. It could go to that far of, to that degree of being really bad. Or it could be something as simple as an officer failed a drug test for marijuana. So we're going to go over it. I'm going to show you the paper, the court documents that were filed. Let me go ahead and pull that stuff up real quick. Bear with me. Y'all hear me now? Good. See who's in here. Say hi to everybody. Twin City Citizen, how are you? Lovely Lyrics, how are you? Kim Holmes, how are you doing? Lucy Cat, how are you doing? Lovely Lyrics, how are you? Small Fries, good to see you. Cherokee Girl, Tragedy Pimps Exposed, always good to see you. Fizzle, good to see you. I Plead the Fifth, Bugsy Jerk. Laura Croft, Trust No One, good to see you. Florence White. She said, whoa, I lost my membership. I entered a new card number, but it's not showing up yet. I don't know how to find it. With to go look at your cards you have on file, you'll have to go into your sidebar menu, go into settings, and your payment method should be in there. Let's see here. Hey, Ray Bird, how are you? Going back and seeing if I got everybody. Cool. Hey, Blank, how are you? Mary the Mena, is that how you say it? Good to see you. All right, let me pull this up real quick. I hope everybody's doing well. I know it's been a while. I've actually got some good news to share with you. Actually, we'll do that first. This came in the mail. I'm going to try to cover up some of the stuff here. Department of Social Services, you see that? And I'm going to read this to y'all. It says, Dear Allie and Cam, thank you for your cooperation during the recent investigation. We are writing to inform you of the disposition of the investigation in which you were named as the alleged abuser and neglector. The report was made in reference to our children's name, which I will not put out here. The allegations investigated pertain to this is what the people tried to report on us: physical neglect, inadequate supervision, and physical abuse, exposure to sale and manufacture of controlled substance. This is what these people reported. As a review of the facts of the facts did not show a preponderance of evidence that abuse or neglect occurred. We have determined the report to be unfounded. The person who made this report, if known, has been informed of this finding. Unfounded investigations are kept for 1 year from the date of the complaint. If there are no subsequent reports of child, whatever, and regarding the same child or alleged abuser pursuant to whatever that code is, you may request in writing to have the records of this investigation, like pretty much, taken out. It says you have the right to petition the court to obtain the identity of the reporter if you believe the report was made in bad faith or maliciously pursuant to that code of the state. If the court determines the report was made maliciously, you may present court documents to this agency and request all case records regarding the report be purged immediately. If you have any questions of this, or if this agency can be of any further assistance, please contact. So, right there is your proof that all this crap that people are trying to say and report on us is unfounded and not true. And we're going to be trying to go the fullest extent of that. I am going to petition the court and hold them accountable. I promise you that. And they didn't. So there was 2 reports, I guess, called in. One of them called anonymously. The other one called and I guess left their name and everything. So I will be finding out who that is. And in my state, if somebody files maliciously or with bad intentions, then it is a misdemeanor the first time. So they can be charged with a misdemeanor if I can prove that they did it, which I can prove because I can show all of this. I have stacks and stacks I have a file full of the people who talk, who have planned to falsely report, the people who have made up lies, and I have it all on record. So I believe that I can prove it. So it's just a matter of time. Oh, small fries, I appreciate that. So how many, this makes how many times these people have tried to maliciously do this to us? A lot. And I've showed it to be unfounded every time. So people can sit there and make up their lies and BS. I've got the proof to back it up. So it's all good. Annabelle's honey. No, you're not blocked. Nobody should be blocked. Hey, Dynamite, how are you? Yeah, this crap does need to stop, True Seeker. It needs to stop. It's ridiculous. Guys, I don't know. Let's see here. Flies on the coleslaw. How are you? Thank you, Fizzle. I appreciate it. Okay. Now let me pull this up real quick. Give me just a second, and I'll share it with you, and we'll go over it. So if you're late coming in, what we're going to be going over is some new court documents that were filed that say that an officer is found to be, or an investigator, somebody within the police force has been found to be uncredible or compromised. And this is in the Idaho 4 case. This is involving Brian Kohberger and his case against the state for the slayings of the 4 students, which, oh my gosh, so bad. We've been following this case behind, kind of behind the scenes. We haven't really talked a lot about it, But I mean, we've been following it very closely, and this right here, I felt like needed to be talked about. Flies in the coleslaw sign, fantabulous, Cam. Thanks for asking. Let me pull up my Gmail real quick, and let me pull up what I'm going to be going over. All right. Let's see here. This is from the New York Post. If it'll load. Oh my gosh, please load. Hey, Charlie B. It's good to see you. Missed you guys too. We haven't been on as much as possible, as much as we should be. Okay. Yeah, it loaded. Awesome. So this is from the New York Post, and I will put this in the description of the video. Let me go ahead and do that. Let me get this link. No. Okay. Copy. Let me go ahead and put this in here so that we let me see. Links used will be in the bottom of the description. Okay. So the link that I'm getting ready to share is in the description. Who is your go-to creator for updates, Cam? Fizzle asked. Are you meaning like updates on which? On the Idaho case? Who we like to watch? There's quite a few. I like Grizzly True Crime. I like there's quite a few that we watch. Allison's turned me on to some creators that I've never heard of before. What is the name of that? It's something radio. It's Midnight Radio. He's a creator that we've been watching. Hey, Kate for Big Little Voices. Share screen. All right. Here we go. So we'll go over this together. Let's see if y'all can see that pretty well. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop off the screen here so that y'all can see this. We'll go over this together here and get these comments off the screen. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to see you guys or see the chat for a minute, but we'll go over this. So it says Idaho prosecutors disclosing info about internal affairs investigation related to officer on Kohberger case. Latah County prosecutors, Latah County prosecutors notified a judge this week that they are disclosing potential Brady Giglio material related to an officer involved in the investigation of Brian Kohberger, the 28-year-old criminology PhD student accused of unaliving 4 University of Idaho students last November. Brady material refers to information that could potentially be exculpatory for a defendant, meaning it could prove his or her innocence. Giglio material pertains to information that could impeach the credibility of a witness. In this case, an officer who worked on Kohberger's case. The relevant material is in the form of confidential internal affairs investigation. Okay. The relevant material is in the form of a confidential internal affairs investigation related to the officer. Judge Megan Marshall granted a protective order that was requested by the prosecutors to shield the materials from public view because they are personal record. personnel records, because they are personnel records. Nima Rahmani, a former federal prosecutor and president of the West Coast Trial Lawyers, explained that the relevant material could be related to officer misconduct in Kohberger's case, or it could be information about a specific officer's past that impeaches their credibility as a witness at Kohberger's trial. It could be anything, Romani told Fox News Digital. It could be beating his wife. It could be driving fast and when he's pulled over, pulling out his badge when he shouldn't. It could be smoking weed. And right there, I'm sure everybody's familiar, but if you're not, that is the residence on King Road of where the Idaho 4 were slain. Because the judge approved the protective order, the relevant material cannot be made public by Kohberger's defense attorneys. Let me read that again. Because the judge approved the protective order, the relevant material cannot be made public by Kohberger's defense attorneys. That's crazy. Prosecutors are disclosing the material because two Supreme Court cases, Brady versus Maryland and Giglio versus United States, obligate them to do so, but also because they are likely to seek the death penalty and want to avoid any issues on appeal, Romani said. In the prosecution's case, you're thinking ahead. Okay, I got a strong case. You know what? I'm just going to disclose everything because I don't want an appellate issue down the road, Romani said. Kohberger, who has not yet entered a plea, could face execution if convicted of any one of four first-degree murder charges he faces in the stabbing deaths of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. Law enforcement officials allege that Kohberger, a former graduate student at nearby Washington State University, ambushed the four college students while they were sleeping in an off-campus home around 4 a.m. on November 13th of last year. He was arrested at his family's home in Pennsylvania in late December and extradited back to Idaho to face trial. Wow. Okay. I don't know. What do y'all think? No. Okay. So Twin Cities Citizen says, no way this is a Brady Giglio violation directly tied to case. I think prosecution is just avoiding future impeachment issues. They are playing it smart. That's a good point. That's a good possibility, I should say. Oh my gosh. Have y'all tried these things? They're nerds gummies. Oh. They are gummies. Like this. No, you can't see them, but they are just gummies on the inside, nerds on the outside. Amazing. It said, well played by prosecution. Aaron Chase says, no matter the Brady or Giglio matters, that man is guilty. He's entirely guilty of killing four precious beings. There's a lot of evidence that has been put forth to the court that points at guilt. But we don't know what the defense has. I mean, if you watched anything on News Nation about the evidence and how, a good defense attorney can poke holes, regardless, this is the thing about court. Regardless of, what's the best way of me saying this? So, if the prosecution does not bring a strong case, a good defense attorney can poke holes through a lot of the evidence that has been brought forth. Let's put it this way. So there's a channel, and I'm gonna see if I can remember this about the DNA. How the DNA, the defense attorney can poke holes in the DNA. They can poke holes in the pings of of his phone on the cell phone tower, because check this out. The cell phone tower can pick up pings from 25 miles away. That's the distance of that specific cell phone tower. Brian Kohberger lived 10 miles away. So he would be pinging off that cell phone tower all the time, right? He sold swimsuits before. I'm trying to see what it's being said. Have y'all seen that about the cell phone towers? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think as far as I know, cell phone tower and the pings, I don't know if it gives the exact location, but if it's 25 miles, its radius of where somebody's cell phone pings off of it, and he only lives 10 miles from it. I mean, he would be pinging off that cell phone tower consistently. He would be all over the place. I don't know. Yeah, look at old Jose Baez. That's exactly right, Fizzle. I mean, that's, me and Allison were watching stuff on Casey Anthony, and Jose Baez, regardless of how guilty Casey looked, he got her off because he was able to poke holes in a defense, or poke holes in a case that was brought by the prosecution that wasn't solid. I believe so too, Kate. I believe the DoorDash is suspect. So the law enforcement filed warrants, and I know y'all saw the list of it. If you haven't, Nerd Gummies Fizzle, yes, they're good. Great. They filed warrants. This is a crazy one. One of the warrants they filed was a Knife Works place from Marion, Virginia. That's close to where I live, where I'm from. And I thought that was so crazy when they were going over the list of the places that they filed warrants to, that, I guess to look for the K-bar knife and how many had been sold from that distributor, because I guess that's what they are. They're a distributor of all sorts of knives and different brands. My Life 360 pinged me somewhere by some water. I don't even think I left the house that day. It was weird. Wow. See, I don't know how solid that is. See, that's a big problem with cell phone pings. It's not very, very solid, because you can, I mean, a good defense attorney. Now, this is the thing, though. Court-appointed attorneys, we've talked about it since if people have followed this channel for a long time, there's a lot of court-appointed attorneys that are not out for your best interest. That's just the way it is. But, oh gosh. I just saw that. I plead the fifth. She said they're saying that he was close enough to connect to their Wi-Fi router. Like, how would they know that, though? He would have to have... Can you explain a little further on that? I haven't heard that. Sorry, but I was back to what I was saying about court-appointed attorneys. A lot of them, are out to get you a plea bargain, and in this case, their only job would be to try to get, if the state was to go after the death penalty, which is saying they are planning on doing, if he doesn't plea out, Hey, Aunt B, how are you doing? If he doesn't plea out, a court appointed attorney, most of the time in a case like this, would be just trying to get him a plea that gets him off of getting executed, which would be, life in prison, so on. Okay, Rocky 605. I haven't seen that. Said Kaylee's dad said he was connected to their router. Woo. Hold on, Allie needs to come here. Hey, Allie, did you hear that?
What?
That Kaylee's dad said that Kohberger was connected to their router?
I've heard that, but I've not heard confirmation of that.
Okay. Allie said she had heard that, but she had not heard confirmation of that. She'll be in here in just a minute. And I think it'll be good that you hear her point of view on this stuff. She's very good with this case. She's followed it very, very closely. Twin Cities citizen says touching Wi-Fi, not connect, two different things. Okay. So I found out that so they sent a state trooper. So I found out this, Fizzle. This is crazy. They sent a state trooper to go question Xana, her mother, because that's who claimed that Brian Kohberger's attorney was her attorney before, and I think it's found to be that it was not her. That there was a miscommunication in that. So I don't know if that's 100% on that. Ain't that right, babe?
What?
They sent a Idaho state trooper to go speak to Xana's mom, and it's about Brian's attorney being her attorney.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've already. It was on that documentary we were watching,
Oh.
and they said that there would have been a conflict of interest if that was the case. And then they said, but I don't know if they've came to a finding on that. And that was on 10 to Life, right?
Yes.
10 to Life and Mr. Black's documentary of this. Y'all should watch that if you haven't. Yeah, she did Mr. Black and 10 to Life. They have a documentary that y'all should watch. Very good. And Swoop, if y'all haven't heard of her, please check out her channel. And very, very good. Yeah, she did an interview with News Nation, Fizzle, that said that she said that she had given that attorney, Brian Kohberger's attorney, power of attorney over everything, and that she didn't know how this was going to work. Well, I don't know what it's came out to be. Yeah, I'll see if I can find all this, and I will clip this stuff, and so I can show y'all. I might make a little montage documentary of it myself. I've been planning on doing something like that as well, because I want to, get everything, that's accurate on the right page. So yeah, so that's what we were told. We were told, or not told, but that's what we had watched. Is we watched that that they allegedly sent a state trooper out to speak to her, Xana Kernodle's mother, and I don't know if they found it to be the same attorney or not. We'll have to see. So Mary Dijon says, here, let me see what she said. My son has a program that alerts him when a device tries to connect with our Wi-Fi. I do too. I have a cell phone app that tells me when anybody tries to connect to my Wi-Fi if they don't have a password. That way you keep hackers from getting into your Wi-Fi address, and they can do a lot through your Wi-Fi. So you definitely want to have good protection over that. to keep from losing hair or leaving prints, or maybe has knowledge of how to do it. The thing that's crazy to me is that he's caught at 1 o'clock in the morning wearing, you know, latex gloves, going through the trash, picking out his trash from the rest of the family's trash. That, unless he has an OCD, uh, I think there's a name for it. I can't remember the name for it, but unless he has an OCD issue that caused him to do that, going back, that the defense would have to prove that. That's very strange to me. Plus, okay, this is another thing that's been very, very, very kind of strange to me, and they haven't said what the book is. They said they found a book with on the page 118 with a passage underlined. Now, Elliot Rogers, who was a, hold on a second, let me think. Let me ask what. Hold on, we're trying. Let me. I'm trying to find the word for this.
If you hadn't asked me, I would have known it.
And in Elliot Rogers was a. Hold on, I'll find it. Let me look this up real quick. Incel. So in his manifest, Elliot Rogers, who was their leader of incels, in his manifest, he put on page 118, there is a passage, and I'm going to pull that. Let me see if I can find that real quick, and we'll go over that. So an incel, yeah, I plead the fifth. You got it. An incel is these are most of the time men who feel like that women have done them so wrong by not giving them a chance and not pretty much sleeping with them, and they hate women because of it. So let me see if I can find this passage. Homie, give me.
Now remember, it's not a book. His manifesto was not a book.
This is the thing too. Allie wanted me to remind you. So his manifest was not a book. That's the only thing. This says in the in the search warrant of the things that they took from the home. The book or the things that they took. It says a book passage, and they wrote in it passage 118 underline. But his manifesto does not. It's not a book. So that's the only thing that makes me think that it might not be it. But then you go back to the Papa Rogers account for that's the Facebook account that they believe was being used, or it's a conspiracy at this point that Papa Rogers was Brian Kohberger. But I kind of believe that it was him. I'm kind of leaning on that. And if y'all haven't seen the picture of Papa Roger, it looks like Brian Kohberger from the side, and I think so. I'm gonna pull it up and see what y'all think.
That's the first thing that I thought.
Me too. Me too. Here, let me see if I can. I'm gonna pull this up. No, not maps. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me make sure That's not sharing anymore. All right, give me 1 second. Let me find this for y'all. Let's see here. Yeah, I found it. This is going to be. All right, I'm going to share this real quick, guys. Look at this. If you haven't ever seen it, I find this to be crazy. Allie, I found a side by side.
Did you?
Yeah. Tell me what y'all think. So this is the This was the picture that was used on the Papa Rogers account. That was saying that the white Elantra was a red herring. Don't look at it, but then he knew uh, information before it was even put out to the public.
He felt that the sheath of the knife was probably found. He said that long before law enforcement ever said.
He said what?
He said that he felt like that law enforcement had found the sheath of the knife.
Yeah, he said that he had felt that law enforcement had found the sheath of the knife before law enforcement even put that out there. It's very strange. Yes, and that account has not been has not posted since Brian Kohberger was arrested. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, so let me see what. Do you guys believe it looked like him? Karen Boardman says yes, he could be an incel, but do they have any proof? This right here, if this account is if there's enough evidence to prove that this account right here belonged to Brian Kohberger, then the name Papa Rogers, and we're gonna go.
That Rogers was spelled with a D too.
Yeah, that's another big thing. The count.
Would only spell it ROGER.
Yeah, so what Allie just said is the fact that the Papa Rogers account was spelled with a D. Elliot Rogers' last name was spelled with a D. Most people would spell it with just ROGERS. That's a big. Let's see. Rocky605 says Google search that pic. It's a stock photo.
Well, it might be.
It might be, but yeah, exactly what Allie was going to say. Is it?
I mean, he picked one. I mean, in my opinion, if it was him, he picked the picture that looks similar to him.
Yeah. Allie said if it's him, then he would have picked a picture that looks similar to him.
Of course, that's not his picture.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. Of course, that's not his picture. We're just saying that he picked a picture that looks pretty similar to him. If and the fact that it is a Google stock photo. I mean, if he is, he has, been educated in criminal justice and to the highest degree, to a doctorate. He's going to be pretty slick with things that he does. Or if he's trying to commit what they hypothesize as committing the perfect crime, I don't know. If that's true, then he got pretty sloppy with it. I mean, I don't know. But, I think that he thought if this ends up being Brian Kohberger who did this, then I think that in his mind that he thought he could pull off something until he started, committing the act. I think it got sloppy because I don't think he thought it would be what it is, if that makes sense. Hold on a second. I hate when I get text messages during a live stream. It shit pisses me off. Okay. Lord of mercy. All right. I wanted to click on this. This looks pretty interesting down here from Reddit. That's a TikTok. It says in regards to the Papa Rogers account, his profile pic looks exactly like Brian. It's I want to see what this says.
I'm emailing you something.
It's from one of those apps where you can make yourself look cartoonish. And his account was disabled yesterday. The post is here from him, have me shaking. He was, what's that say? The whole time. He was here the whole time. That's crazy. I don't know what that said. What are you sending me?
It's just for you to read. You don't have to put it up on the screen. It's just to read. It's
I wanted you to give your input into this.
I'm almost.
Okay, you're almost in here?
Yeah. But
hey, Lex Luthor. Hey, what's going on? Oh my lord.
Who is that? Oh gosh.
I'm gonna turn that down.
Yeah, you're gonna have to because it's disrupting.
It is a whole lot.
This is what it is. You don't have to pull it up.
Okay, yeah, I am gonna pull. Can I pull that up?
I don't know.
Do you want me to just read it?
Yeah, I will just read it. I emailed it.
Okay. Why do you not want me to pull it up?
Well, I mean, you can't, I don't care if you do. I was just saying.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, my bad. Oh my gosh. Something has my nose so stopped up.
Oh, well, mine's running.
Mine is
Mine
too.
stopped up, but now it's
Okay. So. Oh, I know. Don't say your nose is running.
Did you read that thing?
From what? Yeah, I read it already.
Okay, good. I hope that the person enjoyed
you hope that
yeah. Huh?
do what?
I hope that the person that one of them that called enjoyed finding out that their claims were
what's the word? What was it?
False.
Well, yeah, false. But I mean, what was the word that was used?
She's asking if I shared with y'all the
CPS.
the CPS report, and I said
It's
yes.
laying right there. You got it on the.
Yeah, which I shared earlier at the beginning of this, saying that unfounded.
Yeah, unfounded.
That they did it. They got this. We got the paper today saying that the case, which they closed it when I did the last live, but they, what you have to wait till you
He
get.
had told us he was closing it, but we were waiting on.
Yeah, the person who worked for caseworker said that they were going to close the case, a while back, but he said they were putting this in the mail, and when I got this in the mail, I was like, woohoo! Proof. Okay, now here we go. Let me put this. Brian Kohberger, he didn't want to get caught. I agree. Let me pull this up, guys. Hey, Teresa Sutton, how are you? Sorry, guys, if I missed anybody's. Hey, Lori P. Anybody I missed coming in, I'm sorry if I missed your comment. It said, who is that supposed to be in that profile photo? It's like a figure. I should know. It's supposed to be Brian Kohberger. I did a side-by-side just right before that, and I feel like it looks just like him. Now I'm going to pull this up. This is the Elliot Rogers, the incel, the king of the incels. They. And if you don't know what an incel is, it's a involuntary celibate, but it's men who hate women pretty much. But that's what an incel is, an involuntary celibate. All right, so I'm gonna pull this up. This is when when they did the search warrant of Brian Kohberger's parents' home. Said they found a book. Is that right? The parents?
Yeah.
Yes, when they were at the parents' home, they found what they said is a book that had an underlined passage on page 118.
Well, it didn't even say passage. It just said book with underline.
Yeah, book with underlining on page 118. So let me see here. All right. So this is what this says. This is from, and we're not saying this is what that was taken, and that's not a book, but his manifesto. This is what Elliot Rogers' manifesto, which is page 118 of his manifesto, says. And I'm going to put that full screen so y'all can read it. It said, women must be punished for their crimes of rejecting such a magnificent gentleman as myself. All of those popular boys must be punished for enjoying heavenly lives and having sex with all the girls while I had to suffer a lonely virginity. I lived in a college town full of young, attractive students who partied and had sex all the time, and I didn't get to experience any of it. So, that right there, and if you didn't get to read it, I'll put it back up there. But that right there is from Elliot Rogers' manifesto. So Elliot Rogers' father actually worked on a very big film in Hollywood. I'm trying to think of what was the film that Elliot Rogers' father worked on? Do you remember? Somebody in here might know. Crystal Boone says, I believe he's a psychopath, not an incel. Well, not all incels have committed, notorious crimes, but quite a few have. Quite a few of them have. There's been reports I saw on something we watched. An incel had went into the emergency room and was missing a hand and some fingers on another hand, and it took him forever to figure out, what happened. He was trying to make an explosive to take out all the cheerleaders in his town. Elliot Rogers right here, he was the one who unalived a lot of people in the Santa Barbara shootings. I don't know. It doesn't mean that Brian Kohberger was an incel. It's just there's a lot of stuff that, if you believe in the Papa Rogers, I guess, conspiracy at this point in time, then it would make sense. I'm trying to think of something else that was very interesting to me that I had looked into the other day. Involving this. Oh, man. Oh, so there was another arrest that was made. They said that the police said was unrelated to the Idaho 4 case, where a guy that had brutally slain his wife with a knife was, just lived, what was it, 4 blocks?
Something like that.
Something like 4 blocks away. There's a lot of weird stuff that doesn't make sense. I'll be very interested to look at this when it goes to court for sure. Hey, what's up, Michelle Sutherland? Hey, everybody. All right. Let's see here. Linda Helmick. I believe that too. It says Brian Kohberger is very intelligent but no common sense. And there's a lot of people that have that problem. There's a lot of people that have book smarts but not street smarts or common sense. Just don't go together. He got his mind. I guess you can call me in the morning. My RAM must be off. Oh, I'm trying to see what she's saying. Raybird says, I agree. I don't think it's a coincidence that he knew the sheath had been left behind. You're talking about the Papa Rogers account. I agree too. That wasn't the only thing. He's like, what do you think the point of entrance was? He listed the locations of the bodies. The Papa Rogers accounts did before anything was ever put out, which was strange. People would question him, and they would say, "So, do you drive?" Just a question, Papa Rogers. Do you drive a white Elantra? He put, what was it? He commented back. He said, "Oh, Allison, what was it?" He replied back when somebody asked him if he drove a white Elantra.
He said
Flattering is what he commented back to him. Flattering. It's crazy. I'm trying to think of some other stuff, man. I just thought this was good to go over. That the what we covered at the beginning. That's the whole reason I wanted to do this live. To show that the state had filed paperwork saying that, court documents saying that there was an officer, this is what Giglio and Brady, an officer who has been compromised or not credible. And I read over that with the New York Post and a former prosecuting attorney. If you didn't catch that, go back to the beginning and catch that. Guys, this is all I ask, man. This is what I was going to bring up to y'all. Sorry we haven't been on here as much as we want to be. All I ask for, keep us in prayer. Keep us that I will be able to make this move for that job offer that I was offered by some very kind people. I have to get some things in order before I can take that job. Like I have to focus on getting my CDLs, stuff like that. So I'm just asking that, pray that can happen for us, because that will be life changing for my family, and I feel like my family deserves it. Not so much me, but my family. I want to give them the best that I can. You know what I mean? Giglio, okay. Crystal Boone. So Giglio is a case. Now I can pull it back up for you. I'll go ahead and just read it real quick while I have my email open. Hold on 1 second. I'll read it to you. We'll go back over it. I had it wrote down somewhere, but it takes a minute for this to load, but it will. Come on. Okay, so Giglio, I'll go back over it again for people who just came in. That way we'll close out on that. Oh, we'll close out on that. I think that'll be a good good thing. So we could go over what we did at the beginning. So says Latah County prosecutors notified a judge this week that they are disclosing potential Brady Giglio material related to an officer involved in the investigation of Brian Kohberger, 28-year-old criminology PhD student accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students last November. Brady material refers to information that could potentially be exculpatory for a defendant, meaning it could prove his or her innocence. Giglio material pertains to information that could impeach the credibility of a witness, in this case, an officer who worked on Kohberger's case. That right there is a big deal, guys. This is an officer that worked on his case. If the defense, which somebody said the state is going ahead and filing this out of, protection, that the defense can't do that. That would be a good strategy. So it says the relevant material is in the form of confidential internal affairs investigation related to the officer. Judge Megan Marshall granted a protection order that was requested by prosecutors to shield the materials from public view because they are personnel records. Nima Rahmani, former federal prosecutor and president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, explained that the relevant material could be related to officer misconduct in Kohberger's case, or it could be information about a specific officer's past that impeaches their credibility as a witness in Kohberger's trial. It could be anything, Romani told Fox News Digital. It could be beating his wife. It could be driving fast and when he's pulled over, pulling out his badge when he shouldn't. It could be smoking weed. Because the judge approved the protective order, the relevant material cannot be made public by Kohberger's defense attorneys. Prosecutors are disclosing the material because 2 Supreme Court cases, Brady versus Maryland and Giglio versus United States, obligated them to do so, but also because they are likely to seek the death penalty and want to avoid any issues on appeal, Romani said. So they're exactly like Twin Cities Citizen said, that they're, filing this in advance to protect any chances of an appeal going through. In the prosecution's case, you're thinking ahead. Okay, I got a strong case. You know what? I'm just going to disclose everything because I don't want an appellate issue down the road, Romani said. Kohberger, who has not yet entered a plea, could face execution if convicted of any one of the 4 first-degree murder charges. He faces in the stabbing deaths of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Ethan Chafin, and Xana Kernodle. Law enforcement officials allege that Kohberger, a former graduate student of nearby Washington State University, ambushed the 4 college students while they were sleeping in an off-campus home around 4 a.m. on November 13th of last year. He was arrested at his family's home in Pennsylvania in late December and extradited back to Idaho to face trial. So, there's that. And just show that in closing. Huh? Yeah, because it's already been an hour. Yeah. And it's good though, because we proved our point. We got our point across. I know you did. You want me to keep?
I don't know how to explain it.
Well, this is your new thing. This
case keeps me up at night.
Allison, that's what Allie just said. She said this case keeps me up at night. We're going to be doing more on this. I think. What do you want me to wait?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, she's coming right now, so we'll wait.
People haven't seen my new hair.
They haven't, have they? What's the trial date set for?
It's June 23rd, 24th, 26th.
June 23rd, 24th, 26th, one of those dates.
It's the pre-trial hearing, at least.
What did you say, the pre-trial? Yeah.
Pre-trial hearing
McBro, thank you. Guys, yeah, if you don't care, if you're in here, I know it's late. It's not normal for us to be on this time. I just wanted to get on here and throw this out there because I thought it was important. Please leave your touch DNA on that like button. We'd greatly appreciate it. June 26th, Linda and Michelle Sutherland. Yeah, June 26th. Allie will be in here real quick. And she wants to show off her new hair. I'm going to play this real quick while we're waiting for her. If you don't care, tell us where you're watching from. And this is just a little break, a little fun thing we do. Don't go nowhere. We'll watch this real quick. And put in the chat where you're watching from.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
And there she is. I'm going to turn it back.
You
There you are.
Yeah, so I was on the live the other day, but I wasn't on camera, so you couldn't see my hair. So now you can see it. It's different. But
I think it looks good.
I like it.
It is different, but it's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything in about this case? Because I'm probably missed a lot.
I tried to catch you and help you out when I could.
You did. Anything you think is important to this? Oh, Teresa, I missed some people. Thank y'all. She's from Pigeon Forge.
It's awesome. It's not very far from us.
Oh, thank you, Karen. We're trying to get as familiar with everything on the Idaho 4Ks so we can come.
Well,
She's been,
I've been watching it for a long time. Like I've been very into it. I told y'all a couple months ago that I've been very invested in it only because that's like my biggest fear. I told y'all is like somebody being in my house and me not knowing it. So
it's Ninjama. Okay, she says so. I'm so behind, but the Papa Rogers account photo is by a famous artist. I can't remember their name. See, that would be something smart that somebody like. See, he would think.
Oh, nobody will ever guess.
Yeah, nobody will ever catch on because he didn't think he was ever going to get caught.
I really don't think he did. Think he
I don't
was ever
either.
going to get caught.
I don't either. I think that he thought that he was. I mean, now we have to give the benefit of the doubt because it is innocent until proven guilty.
I still question things.
I do too. There's some weird things. I was talking about that. Like,
Sorry, I'm short.
that's okay. I was talking about how the cell phone tower, the pings, You know that thing, 25 miles. It'll pick up your phone for 25 miles. He lives 10 miles away, in Pullman, Washington.
Right.
Anything else? What about the DNA? Explain that.
What do you mean? Explain.
How they can punch holes in the DNA. They talked about it on News Nation, how the DNA could be, easily punched holes through, because they say that 9.9998% show that it would be Brian Kohberger's father's son, which is Brian. But there's something, I remember that on that channel, Mr. Black played.
I know that one thing is, as far as the DNA goes, just with as many people that ended up being in that house before, police, when they first went in there, they did not expect a crime scene in there. They went into that house allegedly for an unconscious person. So they were not even expecting what they found when they got there. And so many people were in that house allegedly, as far as friends who came and went in there, and it's hard to tell with the DNA stuff.
Right. And
with it only being one speck of DNA, that's crazy.
On the button of the sheath.
And now we don't know if that's on the inside of the button. We don't know if that's on the outside of the snap. We don't know.
I'll show you. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull up something. So this is a picture of what a K-bar knife is and what they're explaining the DNA came from. Hold on one second.
I can't see, dude.
Hold on.
My phone go? I guess I left it in there.
I'm going to pull this up real quick so they can see this.
Right, yeah, they have his DNA from a swab now, but whenever to get the DNA to match it to the DNA that they found on the button of the knife sheath, they ended up getting trash, and they got his father's DNA, because I don't know if you guys have seen where when he was caught, whenever police went into his parents' home, he was standing in his kitchen with gloves on
at 1 o'clock in the morning,
separating his trash from his parents' trash and putting it in Ziploc baggies.
Yeah. And
that's pretty odd.
So the button that they'd be talking about is it cut it off in this picture, but this little strap right here would have a metal button on it where it snaps over the handle of the K-bar knife. That's what they're saying that they found a speck of DNA on, male DNA. And that right there is what they call a K-bar knife with the U.S. Marine Corps emblem on it. And
if we still had that, if it was still pulled up where, well, I emailed that, didn't I? No, I found it on there. If it was still pulled up, then it would have multiple pictures.
No, that's just where I saved it.
I know. I'm saying if you still had it pulled up from where we saved it from, there was multiple pictures.
Yeah, and they're calling. So there's a difference between they would call at this point it's between a serial killer and a mass
unaliver.
Yeah, murder. And so it goes under, was it 4 or more people
is a mass
in one event?
Yeah,
it's a mass unaliving. And then
if it was
a serial is different events.
So at this time,
yeah,
it's just a mass.
That's right. So they have his DNA from a swab, right, Linda? I think that's who said that. Oh, Karen Boardman said they have his DNA from a swab. Now we got to wait from what the DNA from the car. They took the boot of the seatbelt. They took the door panels. They took the headrest, the seats. They took that car apart.
The brake pedal. They took everything. So,
morning, Izzy Pop. Sorry we're on so late.
the reason that they took all that stuff, in my opinion, is because they know that it doesn't matter how good you clean something. If DNA is in like that seatbelt boot, especially, you can't get all the way in there to clean. So there would probably still be DNA in there.
Yes, that was a K-bar knife. That picture I pulled up.
Sorry, guys.
We both have it. I mean, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, you know, changing. It's hot, cold, hot, cold. Your nose is going to be stopped up. I've had it. My kids had it. Oh, God forbid.
The weather here has been crazy. Like, it literally has been like 70 degrees the last 2 days. And then this morning I walked outside and my car was frosted over. I was like, what in the world?
The other Sharon said I still use the word. Yeah.
Linda, I don't know. So, in my opinion, with just so.
I have a picture for you, Betty's hair extensions.
Oh, I'm sure she's seen it.
Hold on, I'm going to pull it up.
She or he, I don't know.
I think, should I pull it up?
No, no.
Can I? Please. Just real quick. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up. I have to.
Well, anyway, what I was saying, I think just the fact that they're saying that this crime allegedly took place. Yeah, might not have saw that one, but probably so if they've watched.
I have to do it. Oh, no. Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
Well, they're saying that this crime allegedly took place in 15 minutes, basically. So.
Sorry, wrong one. it's jail extensions. There you go. Boy, those match.
They match so good.
Gosh.
Anyway.
I'm stopping. I'll take it
yes. Down. We're in the middle of a very serious topic.
Sorry, I just had to show it. I thought I saw her name and I saw their name and I had to pull that up.
Anyway, I just think, okay, the fact that they said that this took place in 15 minutes with 4 people, which, I mean, yeah, that's possible, I guess, but I feel like you had.
That was another thing that the Papa Rogers account showed. He asked, how long do you think? They asked the question, Papa Rogers.
He said, how long do you think that was in the house? And somebody came back and said, how long do you think? And he said, 15 minutes. Well, apparently that's what it was. Right. 8 minutes, given the time for him to like walk in and walk out. I think that's crazy. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's possible. I do believe that Kohberger, now innocent until proven guilty, I do believe that he probably is guilty only because I feel like his actions, now before he ended up getting to his parents' house and after he had gotten pulled over those 2 times, if he hadn't gotten pulled over those 2 times, I might have been like, benefit of the doubt. I think, though, the fact that his actions after he got to his parents' house, where he deep cleaned his car again, and they watched him do this. He deep cleaned his car again, and he was separating his trash, and he was taking his trash and putting it in his neighbor's trash cans. And his neighbors, I mean, they're close, but they're not like right on top of each other. So he had to walk a ways in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's so. And Linda Helmich says if they were sleeping, timeline is possible. We know that Xana had just got that DoorDash order, so
her phone showed that she was on TikTok at 4:12.
Yeah.
So
Xana Kernodle's phone showed that she was on TikTok at 4:12. So they're saying this happened between 4
and 4:30.
4 and 4:30.
Well, yeah, give or take.
And then they're debating on who was the target, if it was either Maddie or Kaylee, because Kaylee had the worst
injuries.
Exactly.
Out of all of the victims.
But then there's been reports, and I don't know how accurate they are, but allegedly people and some other big names in media said that they saw the Instagram accounts before they were taken down and saw that Brian Kohberger had liked all of Maddie Mogan's pictures. But then there's some people that think Kaylee would have been the target because of her injuries being so brutal.
If Maddie was the target, I could see where Kaylee would have the worst injuries if he was not expecting, which you got to think Kaylee had already moved out of the house. And so he might not have really been expecting her to be there. And so here he comes into the house and goes into Maddie's room, and
she said, but Kaylee and Maddie were sleeping.
Right.
Yes.
But
allegedly,
we don't know.
Yeah.
Because they could have been awake talking.
Because they had the phone calls going to Jack.
Well, that was between 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Right.
Yeah.
So Wanda Heller says, I think Kaylee was the target. Then you got Enan Harsh.
Yeah, he's an odd one.
It's an odd, yeah, very odd. you have the hypothesis, people thinking that there was more than one person, and that's a very, very, that one bothers me. I think that that's what I was really saying. Makes me want to. I wish they would have dived in instead of saying there was only one. Because
I still feel it's possible that there was more than one.
Yeah, I do too.
I do too.
And because they said, when they got pulled over by the officers that pulled them over, and I'm talking about Kohberger and his father, when they're making the cross-country trip, which was pre-planned.
Yes.
It was a pre-planned trip that has been scheduled to happen for months in advance. That his father would fly out and they would go back, across the United States to Pennsylvania. But when he's pulled over, which we know was set up by the federals, by the feds, by federal agents to.
Well, no, they actually said that they did not.
They said they did not, but how, I don't know.
They can say whatever they want.
But the main thing that they said when they got pulled over. Did you hear about what's happening at Washington State University with that guy who has the same initials as Kohberger, and he had his roommates held up in an apartment at gunpoint. I think he ended up, taking himself out.
Yeah. Before
it's all said and done. But that guy allegedly was doing security at WSU, Washington State University. There's that. There's a lot of weird things. Then Brian Kohberger, when he gets arrested, saying,
has anyone else been arrested?
Which goes as far, they said that Ted Bundy allegedly said that when he was arrested. So I don't know.
See, Linda, I don't think the dad did know. The reason I say that is because if you notice, whenever the cop is asking where they are, like, where are you headed? Brian keeps saying, to get Thai food. And then the dad, he's like, we're going to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and he looked.
And the look on Brian's face, and I feel like if the dad had known, he probably wouldn't have outed their, obviously that's where they live, the dad and mom, but, they could have been heading anywhere, especially if the dad knew and they were trying to find a way to, sneak Brian somewhere safer or something, what I mean?
We could have... Teresa Sutton, I hope that answered. That's why I pulled your question up there. I hope that answered it, what we just went over. Linda says she thinks they acted alone, possibly. And
it's possible.
I'm just trying to, there's just a lot of, different moving pieces in this that really make you question. And I'm not saying that we're not here to put out conspiracies or anything. I'm just saying that these are things that have been said. Hey, what's up, Danielle? What else was there? What else? There was something else.
As far as just the time gets me.
I said this isn't like a Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie thing.
Right.
I don't think that the parents would have known because, and I mean that by saying, what Brian Laundrie's mother wrote in the letter allegedly.
Which her explanation is something
Yeah,
I don't.
is not.
Okay,
um,
but that's a whole different.
I don't think
different
because the
story.
parents said that they, in their statement, they said that they actually said that they were not going to speak forth of anything in the investigation because of they don't, what did they say, gross
What now? Sorry, I was
they weren't
reading that.
going to be a part of the conspiracies pretty much, but I can't remember their exact words that they stated in their press release.
I think that's very weird too.
What?
That he went into the rooms where there was 2 victims in the bedrooms and not the
Not
ones.
the single.
And
yeah.
I just think it's so weird to. I mean, you to have walked past DM's room, Dylan's room, at least twice?
Right.
At least.
Right.
I think that's crazy.
Because if he went upstairs, if he came in the back door, he would have went upstairs, passing the 2 rooms on the second floor.
Well,
doing what
where Dylan's room was located, like
right where Dylan's room is located, but then to come back down and not having a straight shot out the back door, he goes back across the rest of the house,
right,
to
past her room,
Xana Kernodle's room.
Yeah,
where I don't know. It's strange.
I think it's possible too that he did it because he knew Kaylee was there that night. Because if Kaylee was the target, then he might have felt like that was his last opportunity to.
Linda said he definitely knew the layout of the house. I agree.
Yeah.
And the kind of the like the vantage point that they showed above the back door of the house up on the hill, you could see right through the woods and see everything that's going on in that house. Crazy.
I wonder if
it says DM came out 3 times of that bedroom.
She opened the door 3 times. Now, it makes you wonder, like, how far she opened the door. Because did she crack the door? And is that why when he walked by her, he didn't see her? Or did she have it, like, open? I don't know.
Lex Lizard says, I wonder if Dylan saw the knife in BK's
That's
hand.
what I was going to say. I mean, she obviously allegedly saw his eyebrows. So you would think that if you saw somebody's eyebrows, you'd see a very large knife. Right.
Do they? That's a big question for me, too. Do they know who was unalive first?
Well, they pretty much have it. I'm pretty sure that it was Maddie and Kaylee first.
Right. And Patty Barnett, she says, is there any proof that he knew the victims? Well, like we said, that allegedly People magazine and these other big names in media said that they looked at the Instagram accounts before they were taken down of Maddie and Kaylee and pretty much all of them, and said that Brian Kohberger had liked all of Maddie's photos, and that then there was a message trying to talk to Maddie that was in her.
Well, they never said which of the females that the message was sent to, that he had allegedly repeatedly
direct message
had tried to message one of the victims, and that they had never answered.
Right. And if you have Instagram, there's 3 different places that messages can go. So there's a good possibility she never saw whoever it was, they ever saw the direct messages. Did not say there was a step up into one of the rooms. What is it? What is it, Teresa?
Did they not say there was a step up into one of the rooms? Possibly. You can see the layout of the house. Like you can go and look at actual pictures of the inside of the house. Obviously before, not since, but before, like just like on I don't know what website it's on. I don't know if it was like Zillow or what, but you can see the inside. And I'm not sure if there was or not.
So the prosecution, Linda Helm, so that's true. They would know the order they were killed, I guess.
They would, because they would know if the perpetrator used the exact same
Blade.
right, then the second person to be unalived would have the blood of not only themselves,
Exactly. Okay.
but the first victim.
I didn't think about that.
And then the third would have the first two
DNA
from the first two victims, and then the last one would have DNA from
exactly.
all
I didn't
three
even
of
think
them.
about that. Thank you. I did not even think about that. They said 2 of 2, but there would also be no reason to slightly crack it open because at that point she had no idea what was going on or that there was even an intruder. So I believe she had it open just enough.
Right.
Possible. Yeah. Laura Stevenson, it's just saying, so the prosecution filed a order, something in the court that said that there would be an officer that was uncredible or that had been, what's the word? I keep forgetting that.
What? Sorry, I was reading.
The officer would be not credible or, that's the word I use, compromised.
Compromise. We've forgotten that word.
Yeah, that word is just not sticking in my brain. A lot of stuff ain't tonight. Compromised due to something that happened in their past, and it's probably the prosecution trying to get it in there before the defense found it.
Right.
So that was filed, and we just went over. You can catch it if you go back. So we've been on an hour and a half. I think that's it. I'm done.
That's right. Yeah, that. So yeah, anyone could tell him about it or think about it if they're having a party. And obviously, if you go back and you watch the like from where the cops have been called out there before, sometimes all of the people that live there would not even be there. So how well are they vetting people who are coming into that house?
Right.
So who's to say, and this is pure speculation. Who's to say that he didn't go in whenever they were having one of these parties?
Right.
Who's to say that he didn't sneak himself in and just,
I think it's really crazy to say that the restaurant, the Mad Greek, says that they never served him before. They never saw him before. That's a college town with a lot of people coming in and out. To say that it's one person had never been there before. I mean, what if you got it ordered somewhere? What if you got it delivered somewhere? That's a big, I think that's iffy. I could too. We're going to talk more about it as we go. I think that's it for us tonight. We'll close that out right here. We're at an hour and 31 minutes. Thank you guys for all the support, everybody. Thank you to all the jerks. Y'all know who you are. Thank you for all the help.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for all the people. I'm not going to name them. You know who you are. Thank you for the help. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for everything you guys have done. We appreciate it so much.
So much.
Pray that this all works out for this job. I got to get this job. I want it so bad. I think it's a new start, taking a new breath of fresh air for my family. It would be great. A new beginning.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So we'll pray and we'll close it out now. Dear Lord, thank you for everything you do. We ask that justice be served in the Idaho 4 case and that that they have the right man. If there's more that were involved, let them be known. Lord, we ask still for the Summer Wells case that you please let justice be served. In that case, let the ones who are responsible, if there is anybody responsible, if she walked away, let that be known. Lord, just let the truth be brought out. Lord, we pray that you just let these doors that have been opened up for us, let us be able to walk through them. Let us be able to take advantage of the things that you bless us with, Lord. And I pray that you just, all the missing persons cases, Lord, that you just put people right there at the right time to find the answers, and especially in the cold cases. What? Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were poking me for something. And dear Lord, I pray that you just continue to bless those and be right there for the ones that need you, and so even the ones that don't know that they need you, Lord, be right there for them in their times of need. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. No, I was poking you because I thought you were going to shoot through the roof with your legs were looking
Oh,
they're
I
going
know.
crazy.
They do. All right, guys, remember at the end of the day, everybody wants justice.
But justice doesn't have to be carried out with tape.
That's right. Thank you
Almost
guys
forgot
so
it.
much. We appreciate all y'all for joining us such a late live. I hope you can share this, put this out there, get the word through. We're going to try to be covering this case and some other things as it
We've
goes.
said that for a while, but we're
We're finally grabbing
'cause
on to it. So that's it for us tonight.
we'll try to be on more frequently too.
Yeah. Till next time, keep on cracking. God bless. We love you.
See ya.
Later.